Uh, we cannot hear you.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second day of exploring prayers and meditations of the Mother. It's Dr. Monica Gelato. So, before we start, just step back for a few moments of silence. Thank you. So, very warm greetings to you all. And today we shall continue our exploration and immersion into Mother's sacred diary notes and communications with the divine. So, over to you, Monica. I hope you will benefit from the session.
Thank you. Thank you, James. So, we are all on a very long journey. As we were discussing yesterday about the story of the creation and the purpose of our existence, evolution. And I feel it's good to go back again and again because then we can put things a little bit in our context. Why are we doing what we are doing, for example? Why are we reading prayers and meditations by the Mother? You know? So people have said, mystics have said, avatars have said that we all started from being a stone consciousness. Hardly we can call it a consciousness. And then slowly unicellular organisms, multicellular organisms, a plant, insect, higher animals, further intelligent animals, and then we say that chimpanzees or the more closer monkey or apes to man. So Sri Aurobindo says that first we have to become from an animal man, we have to become man, mental man first, which we have not become yet. And I feel it's from time to time, it's good to see in myself remnants of stone consciousness, remnants of animal consciousness, because then it tells me where to change myself consciously. No? How can you see remnants of stone consciousness? I feel that I can see it. And there may be other possibilities, but I feel I can see it when, for example, when you are so tired that you don't want to move. Have you felt, the body is as if pulled to the ground, and there is something in you which doesn't want to move. It can't move because, like we say, it's inertia. We say it's tamas. And that's what is peculiar with the stone consciousness. It's a lot of tamas. It's heavy inertia. It doesn't move. And the remnants we can see in ourselves. We feel that, oh, I'm so tired. I can't move. I don't want to move. I want to rest. Then how can you see animal consciousness in us? I think that is very visible throughout the world. We can see everywhere animal consciousness in action. Jealousy. Earlier people won't believe that jealousy, they thought that it's very peculiar to humans, but no. We see that with Jane Goodall's work, we see that it's peculiar in chimpanzees. Chimpanzees have jealousy, and maybe other higher animals as well. They can war with each other. They can kill each other. They are territorial. How dare you enter into my territory? How dare you take my women? You again fight against. What are we doing? Think about it. We also, in that consciousness, we are creating wars with that consciousness. We are getting jealous of each other. We are territorial. Oh, you entered my country. Passport, show the passport. How dare you take my part of the country and give it back? See? So all this is coming from that animal consciousness. And how does it help me? It helps me because if I'm not aware, I feel this is so human. We think that, oh, to be jealous is being human, don't we? We say, oh, you are jealous. No, 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 no problem. It's human. It's human nature to feel depressed. It's human nature. Even chimpanzees feel depressed. What's new? It's very interesting to see. Because when I heard about Jane Goodall's work and I saw all those things in chimpanzees as well, I thought, oh my God, it actually was very awakening for me that if the moment I see jealousy or uh, ambition or lust or greed, which all can be found in these animals, then I have to become conscious of it and to step back and not act from it because it's animal consciousness. It's not a mental consciousness, which I'm supposed to be, being a human being. So, and then we say that we have to move first towards being a mental man and then towards supramental being. Now, we can't even talk of supramental being because the more we talk about it, the more it is just theory and we can't understand that. We can't understand what we are speaking. So at least now, first, let us become mental man, that all the things and slow.
Your voice is breaking, Monica.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there's a problem in my internet, which will take us to the divine. Because it's the psychic which is kind of a magnet, it gets pulled to the divine. So how can we give ourselves to the divine? It's through the psychic that the giving can be done because it knows how to give itself. So that's why psychic slowly becomes the master and it unites everything together. And then what do we say? Now I am an individual, now I'm kind of united. And then it can offer itself to the divine. So that's why Mother and Sri Aurobindo, they say that ego is the helper and ego is the bar. So in the absence of a conscious psychic, what unifies the being is the ego. And slowly the task is handed over to the psychic. And then when with this ultimate and utter self-giving from the psychic of the whole instrumentation, the supramental can come. And we can't reach supramental, it can come down. What we can do from our side is we can totally, utterly keep giving. And that is what this these beautiful prayers are about, it's about utter self-giving to the divine. So I just wanted to put that in context because we should know why, what is the purpose, where we are headed, why this is so important. So I would not want us to share your intimate experiences that you have through either writing of the prayers or, maybe experiencing, because I have felt that the more we share our immediate experiences, it dilutes the experiences. And it's better not to share and keep it like within yourself, so that it kind of, it like a magic, it just transforms the being, that experience. Because I have felt that if we share, it kind of becomes very vital, and so let's not share too much of our experiences, but sorry. Yeah, I missed the context from mental man to psychic. Would you be able to mention it once more? Yeah, yeah. So I was saying that as Sri Aurobindo says, that ego is the helper, ego is the bar. So when ego is the center of individuality and unification, it is the mind which is the center of, it is kind of collecting it together. The aggregate is collected together in the presence of mind. Chalo mind to hai, kuch aur nahi hai, chalo mind to hai. Because it's a kind of a torch, if not a very bright light, but a little torch. So in that torch, we decide, like we see, how teenagers and young adults, when they develop a kind of individuality, they begin to see, okay, everybody may be saying this, but I want this. So that is kind of unification. It may not be coming through your true soul. It may be coming from your desire soul. But desire is the helper, desire is the bar. So for some time in our life, we live as a desire soul, which is fine, which is part of the process. But the more we become an individual, even having a strong ego, that is allowed as a part of the process, until a time comes in our life where we feel actually hollow. I'm sure all of us must have felt that. We feel that, oh, I am an individual, everything is fine, I have a life, but something is missing. Something is missing. And that something is the psychic being. That something is the consecration to the divine that we are missing, because our life is wholly incomplete without that self-giving. So something in us remembers that something is missing. We don't know how, but it happens. So until that point comes, it's the mind. But then when already we are feeling if something is missing, the psychic has begun to come to the front. It starts to show itself. And then we can follow that slowly, in order to awaken the psychic more, that although I have everything, I am an individual, and yet I feel something is missing. So we lead a kind of a more meaningful life in a more offered way. So that is the transition from, in one way, you can say, mental to psychic. Yeah. So today I thought, yeah, so I was sharing that better not to share experiences, but if you have any question or doubt or a challenge, and if you feel it's necessary to ask, please ask. So but if you feel that you can hold that question in yourself and wait for the answer from mother herself, the idea is not to make us a kind of a so that connection prayers, and we can do whatever like, as we want to take them on the path. Stable, I don't know why. So we'll have to go with that.
You can try turning a video off, Monica, sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Today I have an issue here in the internet. So but I get to know when I stop. So I stop speaking in between and then we connect again.
You can always turn your video off.
Yeah, if that
That
helps.
might
But
preserve the
that's not
content.
helping actually. My husband is also having problems. So anyway,
Oh,
yeah, it's not
okay.
helping. We'll
Okay.
see. I'll get to know and I'll stop in between if I get to know. Yeah.
Sure.
So today I think I thought we can just all of you can open your prayer and meditations book if you have it with yourself. And we are going to look at not the next prayer that we were reading, but maybe a topic we'll take today. And we'll look at some prayers which are kind of aligned in that topic where Mother shares about it. So we'll go on prayer of 1913, November 29. So these few prayers, which I'll be mentioning to you, and I'll be kind of going over it a little fast today because otherwise I want to cover a few topics just to give you a window to these prayers. So November 29, 1913 talks about a kind of a dispersion because usually we are kind of entangled in outer movement too much. Who said what? Why did that person say that to me? Why did that person behave in that way? So we are caught in those outer things. So in few prayers, Mother talks about these outer stuff, outer situations, and what is the right attitude to deal with them. So November 29, 1913, she says, why all this noise, all this movement, this vain and futile agitation? Why this whirlwind carrying men away like a swarm of flies caught in a storm? How sad is the sight of all that wasted energy, all those useless efforts. When will they stop dancing like puppets on a string, pulled they know not by whom or what? When will they find time to sit quietly and go within, to recollect themselves and open that inner door which screens from them thy priceless treasures, thy infinite boons? How sorrowful and miserable seems to me their life of ignorance and obscurity, their life of mad agitation and unprofitable dispersion. When one single spark of thy sublime light, one single drop of thy divine love can transform this suffering into an ocean of delight. And as with Mother's most of the prayers, in gratitude and in supplication, O Lord, my prayer soars towards thee. May they know at last thy peace and that calm and irresistible strength which comes of an immutable serenity, the privilege of those whose eyes have been opened and who are able to contemplate thee in the flaming core of their being. But the hour of thy manifestation is come, and soon hymns of gladness will burst forth on every side. Before the solemnity of this hour, I bow down in devotion. So, what I want to bring your attention to is this noise, agitation, and movement. Now, very quickly, we'll come back to this again, but go to December 29 now, to 1913. So, again, something outer she brings our attention to, and it's the year end. And what she says is that, O Lord, grant that this collective convention of the ending year be for us also the occasion to put an end to a whole lot of bonds and attachments, illusions and weaknesses, which have no longer any purpose in our lives. At every moment, we must shake off the past like falling dust, that it may not soil the virgin path which at every moment also is opening before us. May our mistakes, acknowledged and rectified within us, be no more than vain mirages, powerless to bring any consequences, and pressing our foot down firmly upon all that no longer should exist, on all ignorance, all obscurity, all egoism. May we take flight boldly towards wider horizons, intenser light, more perfect compassion, and a more disinterested love. So, along with the problem, she tells the remedy. And she says, this is how we should shake off the past. Can we do that? It's amazing, no? How she can do that. And she's showing that we can also do that. If we are ready, we can do that. So go to January 1st. I think it's January. Yeah. Just a moment. No, not this one. January 1st, maybe from the 1st. November, not January 1st, August 17, 1913. August 17. We'll have to go back. Yes. O Lord, Master of our life, let us soar very high above all care for our material preservation, our tensions and worries, Nothing is more humiliating and depressing than these thoughts so constantly turned towards the preservation of the body. These preoccupations with health, the means of subsistence, the framework of life. How very insignificant is all this? A thin smoke that a simple breath can disperse, or a single thought turned towards thee dispel like a vain mirage. And then she prays for all. Deliver those who are in this bondage, O Lord, even as those who are slaves of passion. On the path that leads to thee, these obstacles are at once terrible and puerile. So, again, there are more prayers in this context, but I just wanted to bring to your attention that on a same topic, we can find several windows which Mother shares. And these have come very, very helpful for me in my life, that whenever I am perplexed by a situation outer circumstances, then what is the right attitude to take? Where to go? Where to find the solution? Because more often than not, what we are trying to do is we are trying to find the solution in the entangled threads of the outer existence, as if we are going to find a solution there. Most often, we don't find it. And we find it when we are able to make a change within in our attitude. Then somehow the outer also, kind of changes or transforms in a certain manner. So she says, we go back again to the first prayer that I mentioned, November 29, 1913. So let's start from that. Yeah. So when we say, why all this noise? For a moment, of course, you can imagine all the people who are in front of you, your relatives or people who may be distressed around you. But also notice your own self in this situation. When we are troubled with the worries and anxieties of life, how will I sustain myself? Where will the money come from? For example, or what will happen of my children? What will happen? Will I find a flat? Will I not find a flat? All these very little things. But the thing is that if we notice, we allow all these thoughts to come into this little space that we have, and it becomes really overcrowded. And then we feel, oh my God, I need a coffee, or I want to sit down. I'm just too drained. So look at this, the body shows you, the mind shows you that this is not the right way to go. How? Because you get drained. Have ever worries and anxieties been energy giving? We all know that. They don't give us energy, they drain away energy. So Mother says that if only these people would know where the true source of resolution and energy is, they would not run away from these boons. Now we do run away from these boons. Why? Because we think, if I won't think, who will think? But this is a pressing matter. If I don't think about it, who will find the resolution? So I think we can laugh about it, but we know that very time and again we do fall into that trap. And now we are making a decision not to fall into that trap, knowing that somebody knows much, much better than me, and somebody sees much, much better than me, and somebody can guide me much, much better than me. So if that faith is coming, then what we do in that situation where we are perplexed with the outer situation, we turn our thoughts to the mother. So rather than crowding the little space with all the material thoughts and occupations and worries that need to be done, we turn to the mother and we offer completely all the worries and the questions, burning questions, to her. That, see, I'm your child. It's your responsibility to show me the guidance. And she's ready. She is forever ready. Okay. It's just that we don't trust her enough. We trust the mind a little bit more. So it's like as if I feel a taste has to change. Huh? Like a taste of good food and a taste of oily fried food. Once we have felt that change in our body, that how good I feel in the body when I eat good food, if you have tasted that, then you would not, no matter how much people may tempt you, you would not be tempted. Things may be lying in front of you, but you will choose the right thing for you and not the one which has more stronger taste but has health. And also it's a gradual slow process, but I feel that we reach a certain moment in our life where the gradual process can become an exponential process. But for that we have to be it's just like a tipping point, I feel. That I have had enough of sufferings, enough of U-turns, detours I have done. Now I am convinced that all my mind and thoughts and feelings need to be occupied with is the divine. And all my resolutions will be found in the divine. I'll give you one couplet here from Kabirji, and I'll also relate it with what Sri Aurobindo says. So Kabirji says, Tan bhitar man maniya, bahar katahu na jaye, ज्वाला ते बुझी जल भया बुझी बलंती लाए. So he says there is something, Sri Aurobindo calls this psychic prana. He says it's not related to the psychic being. It's called psychic prana. It comes in synthesis of yoga. It is a kind of a vibrating, pulsating, a craving energy. You would feel it I am sure all of us feel it from time to time, which wants to go out and grasp at something. It is there in our thoughts, it is there in our feelings, it is there in our body. It just wants to, it's always craving, and it wants to satisfy itself. But where it turns for the satisfaction is the outside things. Okay, maybe a person outside, craving. Maybe you want to dominate with your opinion, so you give an opinion and you want your opinion to be praised, accepted. So it's like, this restless energy, which is, he says that it's kind of as if it's in, you see roots, as if its roots are going deep into our thoughts, deep into our feelings, and deep into our body. And this psychic prana, Kabirji uses here, that it's like something is burning and craving, tan bhitar man maniya. So he says that my mind now, the restless mind now, is settled in my body. It doesn't now go outside. Tan bhitar man maniya, bahar katahu na jaye. Now it doesn't go outside and seek everything from outside to satisfy itself. And what was burning, jwala, what was burning in me and wanting, that has got settled and it has become water, cool as water. So I feel, in other terms, we also have to become cool like that. And Sri Aurobindo and Mother also mention that same process in a different terminology. That this psychic prana, which is always craving, grasping, and Sri Aurobindo says this is the hunger of an infinite being. It cannot get settled so easily by small, small things. And we see that in ourselves, that one desire finishes, the other starts. One resolution may happen in our life, some other thing may keep troubling you. It just finds some trouble to keep occupied. So what it has to do is, he says, it is a hunger of an infinite being and can only get satisfied in the infinite. So the moment we turn this restlessness, this hunger within the body in the immanent divine, and then slowly to the transcendental divine, we find the satisfaction there. Then how to approach the outer situations that we were talking? So when there is an outer conflict or a challenge, yes, the resolution is wanted. There is no doubt that the problem is difficult. But your contentment and happiness is not relying on that situation. So you are content within, the source is connected to you. And yet you keep taking guidance from that source for the right action to be done in the outer situation. Outer situation is not responsible for your contentment. You see? So there is a lot of difference, that we are not acting like this. We are acting in a very equanimous way, which is the right way to act. And there we can be more certain, if not fully certain, there we can be more certain that I am not acting out of my personal interest. Because my personal interest has been satisfied in that. And that's why in one of the prayers that I read, you see mothers talking about disinterested love. A love which gives, but it is satisfied within itself. It doesn't want anything back in return. And what it wants is the best to happen for the other person, best to happen in the certain situation. And even if you say, for example, in an outer life, look at a workplace scenario, or wherever, a family scenario. You may be contributing something in that family, to that family, or to that workplace. And you may be working from the best possible consciousness that you are working, right now, that you can understand. Now imagine that the next day, somebody from the family or somebody from the workplace kicks you out. He says, now you are not needed here, you are needed elsewhere. What is our immediate reaction? We have to notice ourselves. If I am firmly established in the divine, disinterested in the outer works, yet doing outer works to my utmost, then nothing in me should move. Acha, mother wanted me here. Okay, now mother wants me there. No problem. But if even a tinge of ego consciousness was got attached in that work, then you would say, oh, wouldn't these people miss me? No, I have been a very firm part of this company or family or workplace, but now they are just like throwing me away like that. I have contributed so much in so many, all these years. So this is the ego getting, kind of enjoying the fruits. So what we are aiming at is to work disinterestedly for the mother, and how we can work disinterestedly for the mother when we are always connected for our satisfaction directly from the source itself. So this is where our prayers are leading us. She always finds the whole satisfaction in turning to the divine. And at the very same moment, she is also engaged extremely, sleeping less, 2 hours, 3 hours, totally working for the divine. And that is where she is drawing the energy from, she says. Inexhaustible source of energy. As mother says, that in work we have to find true repose. So a time should come, and I'm sure it will come. A time should come in our life where we don't have to say, oh, I'm tired, I want to rest. Wouldn't it be amazing? that there is no fatigue because a constant kind of AC connection is there. You're always plugged in. And you have nothing to lose because you're not working for yourself. And I remind myself of another thing from Krishnamurti. After that, we'll take a pause and ask for shares. Krishnamurti used to say, he was into education, and to his teachers, often he would give talks and discourses. So he would say that if a teacher is saying that, oh, being a teacher is my passion, I can't imagine myself anywhere else but being a teacher. You better not be a teacher. Why? Why would he say that? Because then a part of your identity will be driven from your teaching students. He doesn't want that. He wants a teacher to be a yogi. And a yogi is either here or there, wherever you put him. Sri Aurobindo got enlightenment and interaction with Krishna and darshan of Krishna in jail, where people may complain of this and that, right? So a teacher has to be a yogi in the sense that if he's put into education, okay, he does his best. If he's thrown out of education, he has much to do in his life. So that his identity is not getting derived from the work that he's doing, because somewhere then a compromise begin to happen. Yeah, and we encountered this very same thing in Mother's prayers, where she says that how does it matter if your work gets accomplished either through me, this instrument, or some other instrument? How does it matter? It's irrelevant. Your work should be done. So that's the humility. And how can that humility happen? It can happen when the whole source is with me all the time and I'm not disconnected. That's why I do not depend on any outer situation or a praise or an acceptance for my satisfaction. And yet I do the works tirelessly. And the other thing which Mother shares in many of the prayers is praying for all. This is something we also encounter in Buddhism, where if you are going through a pain, you connect with that pain, and now you say, oh, now I feel how so many of us feel who have lost a loved one, because now I have lost a loved one. Because now you know the pain. So what do you say? In that Tonglen meditation, you say, now I know the suffering. I can feel it in my body, in my mind, in my emotions. Now I know how so many of us suffer when they lose a loved one. I consume their suffering. I inhale their suffering. And I pray for all that may all have peace and, happiness in their heart. May they not suffer. And we find Mother doing the similar process in her prayers. Towards the end of the many prayers, you see that she's praying for all. That first she's noticing a suffering, either in herself or outside. And then she says that may no one suffer, may all gain and benefit from turning to the divine. And we all can experiment. Maybe towards the end, we can do this. Because what happens when we do this? The ill will we have changes to goodwill. And we all have ill will, remnants of ill will. People we may not like that much. They are part of our existence, but we may not like them that much. They're like acquaintance, half strangers. You know them, but maybe their personality doesn't suit you, whatever. So what happens is that there is a subtle judgment and a subtle ill will which stays. It's not conscious. It just stays. And when through our suffering we include all of those people, I may not like them, but each and every person wants peace. So may their hearts be full of peace, and may they also turn to the divine and find the ultimate satisfaction. So you become disinterested, you lose your personal interest also, and you turn ill will to goodwill, which is the task of us as a human being. Yeah? So I'll take a water break, and in the meantime, You can take a speaking break. I've said too much in one go. So yeah, feel free to share anything or share any question or anything.
This disinterested love, I was just reminded of my initial years as a teacher. No? So, what used to happen was with little children, you feel that, they get so attached to you emotionally also that next year when they move to the, next grade, you feel ki, how will they even, function without you? मतलब क्या होगा? मतलब you feel ki nahi, I have to, like see them or, go and be there with them. But it's so amazing that, children just move on and they are so fine and, they are in the moment always. And that just makes you understand, like so gradually year after year, that disinterested love where you're involved so much and yet you let go because they are going to move on to the other grade and, you just feel happy. So that was, what came to me that was a glimpse of disinterested love. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes. I have often some young, not maybe children, maybe teenagers. Uh, if you have noticed around you, uh, if adults around them are saying, I will miss you, they also pick it up. So what happens is, and usually they are fine, as you said, very much. I totally agree that they move on because they are in the present moment and, they don't have the concept of missing. Actually, children don't have the concept of missing. It's adults who, keep on connecting back, ruminating, and then, I am missing you or all of that. So if we are conscious parents and conscious teachers, and we don't make our work as a kind of, deriving our identity out of it, deriving anything out of it. And if we become conscious and we don't use these words such as I will miss you or these kind of things, we see that really children can become very resilient and independent very soon. I have also noticed that what Shweta was sharing, Shweta. So with my two boys, I've also noticed that I consciously never use the word that I will miss you when you are not here. For example, maybe he has gone for a night out or whatever. And even when they come back, I consciously never said, oh, I missed you when you were not here. And they also never use these words. For example, if I have to go for a retreat or vipassana or anything, and for 10 days or a few days I'm missing, when I come back as if nothing happened. And I think this is such a gift that we can, as you said, give to our children, letting them be resilient because they are ready. They are ready. And naturally, they are resilient. It's us that we transfer our atavisms and, how we derive our identity from them. And also asking children that do you like papa more or mummy more? Again, very sad thing to ask. Very sad. I request not to ask these questions to children. Hmm? Because each one brings a different flavor in the family. So yeah, thank you for sharing. Yes. Anything else, anyone? Okay, great. So if nothing, I'll march ahead. Let's go to prayer of March 12. Oh, March 12, 1914. So again, we focus on outer circumstances because it is the outer circumstances which are bothering us the most. O Lord, my one aspiration is to know thee and serve thee better every day. What do outer circumstances matter? So whether mother places you in this country, this place, with this person, that person, how does it matter? They seem to me each day more vain and illusory. And I take less and less interest in what is going to happen to us in the outer life. But more and more am I intensely interested in the one thing which seems important to me, to know thee better in order to serve thee better. All outer events must converge upon this goal and this goal alone. And for that, all depends upon the attitude we have towards them. To seek thee constantly in all things, to want to manifest thee ever better in every circumstance. In this attitude lies supreme peace, perfect serenity, true contentment. Here we know the great secret. In it, life blossoms, widens, expands so magnificently in such majestic waves that no storm can any longer disturb it. O Lord, thou art our safeguard, our only happiness. Thou art our resplendent light, pure love, hope, and our strength. Thou art our life, the reality of our being. In reverent, joyful adoration, I bow to thee. So again, we see, the qualities always ending with gratitude. How lucky am I? How lucky we are to know Mother and Sri Aurobindo within this life. How lucky to read their words. How lucky to practice the path, no matter how much, but still on it, at it. To be able to see with our eyes Mother's picture. To be able to take the name of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo with our lips. And in our thoughts and feelings, the ability to feel them. All this we take for granted. Ask them who can't do that. So many things are, and Mother says in one of the prayers also that so many things are functioning so well. We don't have to move a finger for all the intellect working well and emotions working well. We don't have to move a finger. So making the best use of that situation. So this is what we should aim at, that outer circumstances, of course, life is like that. Mother has said during those times that the world is in a turmoil. Look at the world right now. It is still in turmoil. And what she needs is handful of warriors. That is what we have to become. Handful of people who are ready to be changed. Willingly. Because it's Sri Aurobindo says, no, it's a surrender, free surrender. You can always take it back. आज बोला Mother, I belong to you. Kal again back into our worries. होता है ना? It happens with us. So, because Sri Aurobindo says in the book, The Mother, he says because it's free surrender. You can always, as a parent, we would know those who are parents. We say, yeah, I suggest this to you based on this discussion, but I leave it up to you. You choose. Once a child is big enough, you say, it's up to you. And then the child faces that situation and then comes back with whatever experience. So this is how the divine parent also, we can get a glimpse of it, how it works. And there is tremendous freedom in the existence because love is freedom. And because love is the basis of the creation, freedom is anyway there. And that is why things can go so far. You can see the global situation. Things can really go so far because ample amount of freedom. But are we responsible enough as a child of the divine to make use of that freedom? Because with freedom comes responsibility. So can I now, after doing all the blunders, after doing all the errors, because they are allowed in that free creation, they are allowed. Our errors are his steps on the way, Sri Aurobindo says in Savitri. So no problem. No matter how bad I may have become, an Angulimal, murdering 999, even then I can move and become an Arahat in the very same life. Such freedom is given. So I feel that we have to really now be a very obedient, sincere child of the mother, and we all know what is to be done. See, I am just like sharing because you are all kind enough to listen to me. I have nothing new to give. I'm just, you know, sharing what you already know. But I feel that it's high time that we all should consciously give, utterly, without any second thought, give ourselves to the mother, because it's already too late. We have done enough blunders and enough mistakes. Now it's a life which is a sunlit path. With the mother, it's always a sunlit path, because the outer circumstances then do not matter. What matters is your connection with the mother, your identification, and more union with the divine. And we always see that there always is something lacking in our union. Always. You can see in mother's prayers also, she says, इतना सब हो गया, but मुझे लगा था हो गया, but देखो अभी भी ये बचा है. Like that. So she's kind enough to show us that even after so many realizations, something or other will be remaining, no problem. But travel the path, exponentially, leap forward. Time is ripe. Time is ripe. And we need more of such people in the world who can really work from a disinterested way. That they don't want anything out of the situation that they may be advising or suggesting. They don't have any personal interest, because it's the personal interest of so many of us which kills a country, which kills a system. So more of us, wherever we are, we may be in a different country, we may be in different offices, wherever you are, if you become heralds and harbingers of light and disinterested love, mother will be so happy. She says, she says that any ill will in agenda, I think she says that any ill will that we exercise, that we follow the dictate, it hurts me. It hurts my body, she says. And that really stayed with me, because I don't want to make mother's work even more terrible. It's already so much. So can I do this from my part, that whenever an ill will comes, whenever any dark thing comes, I take it higher as a child of the mother would do, and contribute in her work that she is still doing and has already done so much for us. So where were we? Outer circumstances. So this is March 12. I want to bring your attention to also March 1st, 1914. So when we talk about our outer situations, outer difficulties, she brings our attention back within. And she says in March 1, 1914, it is in one's own self that all the obstacles lie. It is in one's own self that all the difficulties are found. It is in one's own self that there is all the darkness and ignorance. Were we to travel throughout the earth, were we to go and bury ourselves in some solitude, break with all our habits, lead the most ascetic life, yet if some bond of illusion held back our consciousness, far from thy absolute consciousness, if some egoistic attachment cuts us off from the integral communion with thy divine love, we would be no nearer thee despite all outer circumstances. This is something we must have felt. We may be in a retreat. We may be physically far away from a person who is disturbing, but the thoughts don't leave us. The past may be long gone. 30 years ago, some incident happened. Still rotting in our brain. Kabir ji says here, बन में लुट गया मुनिजन नंगा, डस गई ममता उल्टा टंगा. So see, he's commenting on the ascetics, that even when he's doing all the sadhanas and antics in the forest, his mind is still attached somewhere, and that is the problem. Can any circumstances be considered more or less favorable? She says. I doubt it. It is the idea we have about them which enables us to profit much or little by the lessons they give us. How? So I may have an idea, oh, I have heard about this retreat and it feels like I would really gain something from there. The idea comes first. Or maybe your friend who you like very much told you about it and the benefits it can give. So you go with that idea that, oh, I will benefit much from that retreat. Let me go. Because there are also people amongst us, we may have done that we may go to a retreat, but not with any idea that it will benefit me. And we remain the same person and come back the same person after having paid the money for the retreat. Happens. Same happens with the medicine that we take. Mother says it's faith that cures, not the medicine. If I have the faith that mother will give me shahad and haldi and I will be cured in my, throat problem or whatever, I will be cured. If I have a faith on a doctor, particular doctor, that, oh, his advice always works for me. No, you have faith in him. That's what works in the medicine. So mother says, I doubt that any circumstance can, and again, as we read earlier, talked about earlier, Alipur jail. Is it a favorable circumstance for sadhana? God knows. No. And things happening there, and many other examples of other mystics who went through jail experience and enlightened. Can any circumstances be considered more or less favorable? I doubt it. It is the idea we have about them which enables us to profit much or little by the lessons they give us. O Lord, I implore thee, grant that I may be perfectly conscious and master of all that constitutes this personality, so that I may be delivered from myself, and thou alone mayst live and act through these multiple elements. To live in love, by love, for love, indissolubly united to thy highest manifestation. Always more light, more beauty, more truth. This is where we have to go. Remind yourself of Pavitra Das passing, where mother mentions that how when he passed away, for 3 hours, his being kept coming on into the mother, merging into the mother for 3 hours continuously. Now tell me, how is this possible? If while he was alive, he was not continuously with the mother. It's not possible. This tells us the unification he had, union with the divine he had while he was working and alive. Because when we are dead, we can't fool anyone. We can't fool anyone. So what do we want? When we are dead, we lie scattered here and there. The vital goes here, the mental here scattered, the desirous still desiring. As mother says, even after death, we keep desiring the desire, the vital being. What do we want? And if we don't want that, then it's high time that whenever we have time, throughout the day, not only in our meditations, throughout the day, can we direct all our thoughts and feelings and heart to the mother? Am I ready for that? Mother or the divine, any divine that we connect with. There's no time to lose because death can strike any moment. We may be very young, but who knows, right? So as mother says, and in Isha Upanishad, that one must think of living 100 years working for the divine. But who has seen death? No one. So we have to be ready. What is the readiness? The readiness is right now, what is the maximum, highest possible union I can do? That if Yamraj would be to come today to me. I say, yes, I'm ready. Show me what lies next. Like that. No? Because you have nothing to lose. The whole being goes to the mother throughout the day. And you derive, it's like the fountain of ecstasy, fountain of bliss, fountain of joy and happiness. All you derive from that. For you, she only exists, and the outer such situations are secondary. They are important. They're important because we'll come to one prayer where she says that the outer circumstances are the one on which we are tested each moment. That how much is my union? Can I do better? Yes, I can do better. I should not have said that word, for example. Because if the outer situations don't happen, we think, oh, mera ho gaya, I'm done. So it's very good that we are tested time and again. So Pavitrada's example is a very good example for us to see and to, again, by free will, think for ourselves. Do we want that? That the whole being is totally, utterly united with the mother, and it goes back to the mother straight without any detour here and there after the body is gone. Yeah, anything here? Anyone? Let's go to June 18, 1913. So, as I was sharing that for some time of our life, what we do is that we don't want to turn to the divine, and it's much after suffering enough that we turn. Why is that? Because the lower being has a bad taste. It's a perverse taste, and we keep on craving that. Oh, the person I want to love should love me back. That is where I want to draw my satisfaction from, and not from the divine. Why? Because I have never, we don't have a very strong recollection of the divine communion. The recollection is there. How? That we keep on craving that there is something more, something more. So something unconscious is there. But it's not that I would say, oh, which way you want to go? You choose the lover or the divine? I would say I choose the lover, because it's more familiar. You see, it's more familiar. I know the person. I have spent time with the person. A very rare individual would say that I've lived enough with the person. Let me go to the straight source of the person. Very rare. Huh? So mother says in June 18, 1913, to turn towards thee, unite with thee, live in thee, and for thee is supreme happiness, unmixed joy, immutable peace. It is to breathe infinity, to soar in eternity, no longer feel one's limits, escape from time and space. Why do men flee from these boons as though they feared them? hmm? कि भगवान के पास अभी नहीं जाना, अभी तो मेरी लाइफ बहुत बची हुई है. Like something like that. Actually, it happens, no? That's why mother is sharing as if we fear them. कि अब पता नहीं भगवान के पास चले जाएंगे तो क्या लाइफ खत्म हो जाएगी. And in fact, you would not believe, I have seen also parents at times not wanting their children to turn to the divine. And they want the children to remain more materialistic because that is a familiar sphere. कि पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा अगर ये भगवान की तरफ मुड़ गया तो कुछ गलत ना हो जाए. So Why do men flee from these boons as though they feared them? What a strange thing is ignorance, that source of all suffering. How miserable that obscurity which keeps men away from the very thing which would bring them happiness and subjects them to this painful school of ordinary existence, fashioned entirely from struggle and suffering. So we have one full canto in Savitri, the problem of pain and the way of fate, if you remember, where Narad explains to the mother of Savitri that why we have suffering at all, because we are like dog's tail actually, and we need, as long as ignorance is there, ignorance means I don't know the divine, I ignore the divine, I'm not aware, conscious of the divine. So as long as that is there, suffering needs to be there. Why? Because when we suffer, at least then I run to the mother, because I want happiness. Now where to put my face in when all the situations are such, so bad and nothing can give me solace? So for solace, I turn to the divine. And we will see so many examples, and many of us may be there, part of it, where we haven't turned to the divine if not for the suffering. So as long as it is needed, it is there. But mother says that it is not necessary. That's what she says, that this painful school of struggle and suffering is needed only when we are ignorant of the divine presence and we don't know how much satisfaction, contentment, and happiness it can bring us. So mother says that what stupidity this ignorance is, that it doesn't let us see properly. That what is what. And it is for real. We all have faced situations that where actually divine may be just a name for us. It doesn't mean anything, didn't mean anything for us back then. And more present and more concrete was the situation in front of us. We all know. The divine is not that concrete as the situation in front of us. Right? So this is what the change that is needed. Right now, the outer situations that are around us, they appear very concrete. My thoughts appear very concrete. My feelings for a person or a situation appear very concrete. Just as that appears that concrete, and this laptop in front of me, which I can touch and feel, appears very concrete. And I know I can trust on this laptop, and I know this exists. That switch has to come where we know concretely that the divine exists, and there is no doubt I have about it. And I can rely fully on the divine as concretely as I am relying on the laptop for the network. That faith and certitude has to be there in our body, mind, and feelings. The moment anything negative or dark comes, you turn it to the mother, you burn it up, you don't let it stay. And the moment any dark thought comes, you again change it completely. This is why the mind is given to us. This is, mother says, this is the power of thought and imagination. It has to be used. Why do you use it for the all baddest possible things that can happen? The bestest possible things can also happen. Think that. So this certitude has to be instilled in ourselves. Mother says injected, like an injection is injected in the cells. And that is why we have a psychic being. I mean, what's the use of a psychic being if we are not even making use of it? Just to say that, oh, I am a human being superior than an animal or whatever, but behaving the same way. A psychic being is supposed to completely turn to the divine. That's its purpose. A psychic being is supposed to turn all the movements to the divine. That's its purpose. And yet, if I remain engulfed in darkness, not only engulfed, if I give petrol and fuel to the darkness when it comes on my petrol station, what can I say of me? That is contributing with the evil forces. So we have to stop that. We have to consciously stop that. And really, I'm telling you, and I'm sure all of us may feel in their lives that if we turn even a little bit to the divine, it really is felicity, serenity, and what Mother is sharing, that why do men flee away from these boons that are there, waiting for them? And then we can actually do the best we can in this life, working for the divine, ready for anything like a warrior, works loyally for the king that employs the warrior. And yet not interested in the work in that sense that, oh, I will have to stop work. No. Whatever comes on the way, my direction is set now. If the divine wants me to come 10,000 lifetimes, I am ready to come. If I have to go through this turmoil and suffering for 10,000 lives for the divine work, yes, I'm ready. Like that. So I think for today, maybe we stop here. We talked about a few prayers, and I mentioned just the name, and we read the prayers. I would want you, if you are interested, write these prayers down, read them yourselves, because today was a little hurried affair. I wanted to just give you a window into all these things. And yeah, write them down, make them your own, and see wherever it resonates with you and what would you like to do with them in your life, how ready you are for the process further. Okay, so yeah, any comments before we just maybe do a short practice?
I I just wanted to share an experience which I had few days ago. So there was this in the morning. There was this small incident. I was alone with my dog, and in the kitchen while handling the gas, I realized that the pipe was broken. So in fact, when I touched it, it completely came off, and the gas was like just coming out full, in full force. And this is a house we've moved in like just about, recently, not very recently, but still like the nozzle to the gas flow, I didn't know where it is. So, and I was just holding the pipe with, I'm just trying to, express how the whole day while I am thinking of the mother, I'm also chanting. But at the time of crisis, how the mind takes over, as if, I know better. So I'm trying to hold it with the thumb finger, and 5 minutes I'm fine. And suddenly I realized, okay, this is serious, like, because with my finger, it's not like, stopping, and then I am inhaling it also. And I have a dog which I was worried about, uska kya capacity, kitna tak le paega. So I'm holding it, and I'm trying to do everything. I put a plastic into it and all, and suddenly, and my phone is also not with me because I'm in the kitchen. So I, for 5, 10 minutes, like after 10 minutes, there was panic in me. Okay, this is the moment, something is going to happen now. And after all that trying, then I have mother's photo in the kitchen only, and then I'm like, oh God, please help. So and immediately, like, it didn't even take a moment that I just niche opened the drawer. It's a modular kitchen, so I opened the drawer. वो drawer के पीछे वो nozzle है, and I found it, and I just closed it. And I am thinking it was such a visceral experience for me that even though I think of mother all the time, when a crisis comes, you still apply your mind and you're trying to do things. You're not remembering the divine first. And this was so beautiful, and it just made such an impression on me, very visceral impression, that I told my family, like कुछ भी हो, ठीक है, जो करना है वो करो, पहले भगवान को याद करो, like divine really helps. So yeah, I thought it will help everybody. I wanted to share
one.
that.
Like, it's like giving a pamphlet of advertisement for that. Oh, divine really helps. Amazing. Good one. Good one.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Mm.
Yeah, actually, the same thing happened with me 2 days back. I was just fixing the cylinder. The cylinder had got over, and I was fixing it. So before fixing, I just prayed to mother, and it was at night. So I was praying to mother that this cylinder should not leak, because it has happened with me earlier 2 times also. So there was no one at home, and I was with my son. So I told mother, please look into it. It should not leak. And even if it leaks, please give me the courage to take the next step. So I just took that thing out, and it started leaking. The cylinder started leaking. So I didn't panic I was like, okay, the mother wants me to take the next step now. So I immediately called the gas person that it has started leaking. And it was very very surprising that at night also he said that, okay, I'll come in 1 hour. So it was so assuring, and everything was fine. He came in 1 hour and he fixed it, and it was mother's grace only. So that's how the mother
Beautiful.
helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you are all sharing these beautiful experiences, I am reminded of mother's anecdote, which I want to share because I think it's in alignment with what we are sharing. See, this is very common for us to uh, feel the divine presence when something is going wrong and then we are helped, isn't it? We all have our experiences. I'm sure all of us who are not speaking, we also have had our experiences, right? So one time somebody was asking mother that if an aeroplane crashes, for example, or any accident happen, why is it that some people are saved by the grace of the divine and why the others are not saved? So that is the question. Why is the divine grace not on the other people who are not saved? And mother says, almost I'm just telling you the crux. The mother says, like you are very weird people. When all the days, all the aeroplanes are flying completely fine above your head, nothing is falling on your head, no crashes, nowhere. Then no one thinks of the divine, and you only think of the divine when something goes wrong and then you are saved. Very interesting, no? So, all these experiences tell us how grateful we can be in each and every moment of our life, at each and every moment, that we have the ability to remember the divine and to turn to the divine. What a grace. What a grace. So, yes, making the best of this opportunity. Yes, Meenakshi, you want to share something?
No, I was just thinking that actually, because we have not given ourselves, although we all are remembering the divine and we all are offering most of the moments of the day to the divine, but still it is not 24/7, because each and every moment, what it can bring to us, or it can, whatever, like हमें कहीं घर से बाहर निकलना है और we are into something, then okay, we remember it, at least this much we think. But the moments when we are not doing like anything that is kind of कि उतना इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है हमारी नजर में कि भाई अच्छा अब इसके लिए भगवान को याद करें, और इवन घर में ही when you are kind of moving, so things can happen. It is not to avoid any mishap. Yes, that is perhaps one major thing, but it is also because that there is no other that, I mean, how to say, like, why there is, I mean, this is not the option that every moment you have to be with the divine, because that practice if we give कि अब हमारे पास हम अपने आप को ये ऑप्शन दे देते हैं कि ओके विदाउट द डिवाइन ओके थे बाकी चीजें तो नॉर्मली कुछ चल ही रही हैं, हमारी ऐसी हमने आपको आदत नहीं डाली है, तो वो हर मोमेंट जो हम शायद मुझे लगता है कि दिस इज ऑल लैक ऑफ प्रैक्टिस एंड दिस इज ऑल बिकॉज आई डोंट नो इफ आई हैव कन्वेड इट प्रॉपरली कि हमें वो वाली जो चीज है हर मोमेंट में दैट वी हैव टू, हमें स्थित होना है उस वाली उस डिविनिटी में, उसमें तो फिर हमें ये स्पेशली जो याद करने वाली है जो जरूरत पड़ती है, बिकॉज देन इट इज बाय डिफॉल्ट, वो आपकी है सेटिंग कि आपको तो आप करते ही हो, सो या
Yeah. I understand what you mean, I think. Yes. So in one of the prayers, maybe we can take it tomorrow. In one of the prayers, Mother shares that there is one state where one is continuously remembering the divine, like as we were all sharing. And there is then another state where there is a union with the divine, where you now don't need to remember because you exist only because the divine is. Now that knowledge is not a theory for you. See, right now, why we have to remember the mother? Because we think that we are existing without the mother also. But as in many of the prayers, Mother says that you are the life of my being. You are the light and life, she says. You are the life. If we, right now, these words are theory for us. We don't have a practical experience, as Shweta was saying, a visceral experience of this thing that the divine is the life that we live. But when these words become our reality, that without mother, what is possible? What is possible with if not for the mother? And these are not mere words or vanity shared, but a lived experience. Then this dual thing of remembering the mother, because right now we are remembering because as if mother is a little away from me, right? You know. So this is why we call union with the divine. Because as mother says in many of the prayers, then I will be thou, mother shares. That, you know, that I will become thou. Then I won't need to address you, mother says. And this is, those of us who may think that, oh, this is mother, she can say that. No, because this is our also, human beings have to do that. Union with the divine consciousness is our journey. So don't think that it's only for the divine mother who could say that I will be thou. No, we have to become sooner or later, in not in this lifetime, in several others. Who knows how many we have to take. So yes, what Meenakshi was sharing, I can understand that that rather than remembering, it becomes our nature, and it takes time. We have to see that it takes time. Why? Because there is a lot of darkness and ignorance everywhere. It's like, the example we can see here is like, I can't become a stone now. Okay? This is the natural state I am in, how we see normally a human being operates. So our natural state has to now be a union with the divine consciousness and living like that. This, right now, this is natural for me. Another example which will be easier for us to understand is when you play any new sport. Like when I started here playing, I picked up tennis here and I started playing tennis. I remember that the first few days, like out of 100 balls, you are not even able to hit one ball correctly. And you see expert players playing on the television and they can't hit wrongly. So much practice they have done, they can't hit wrongly. Even in their dreams, they will be doing correctly. Because the transformation has happened in the body consciousness also. Because of their continuous practice, and effort. So when that state comes, that to remember a mother is not a task for me to be done, that will be irreversible. Then I am with her, and without her, I know do not exist. Yeah. So with practice, slowly a stage comes, like we see expert players, even if they want to make a bad move, they won't be able to make a bad move because they have forgotten how to play wrongly. I'm sure that will come, because it's a certainty that Mother and Sri Aurobindo have given us, that the supramental is here and it is helping each one of us for this process that needs to be done. Okay. So let's take 2-3 minutes to compose ourselves and again completely, utterly offer ourselves to the divine. So we can close our eyes for a moment and remember, as I said, let us also try to do this throughout the day, wherever we are, with open or closed eyes. Connect with your body consciousness from foot, toes, feeling each part of your body, feeling the life in your body. Each part of the body, you may not be aware, but the life is there. And each part of the body is divine. Each part of the being existence. When you close your eyes, it's dark inside, right? And in darkness, you can see small, small, minuscule particles as if. And each particle exists because the divine is. And once again, with our conscious will, with the presence of psychic being, Agni, the priest of this sacrifice, of this yagna, we become a fire. Each part of the flame, each part of the fire burns up and up, going up like an incense goes up. Save nothing for yourself, for your little self. Whatever you become conscious of, part of the body, your thought, your feeling, your heart, each grain of existence we offer in this yagna as an ahuti. And the fire burns bright and goes up. Each atom of our existence is burnt up, offered as a consecration, as an ahuti. So that this fire of our true spirit, true life, can burn even more brightly. And we are nothing but a fire, giving itself up to the divine, existing for the divine. And now see each one of us from wherever we are joining, flames going up, offered to the divine. all of us connected in our collective aspiration of living only for the divine, and giving ourselves up back to where we belong, truly. All of us, wherever we are all flames. Giving themselves up to the divine, existing for the divine. The whole body is up in flames. The mind, the thoughts, the feelings, all has been given. Nothing of you is remaining. And the flame is the same everywhere. In you and me, the flame is the same. And the flames can be seen going higher and higher, up in height, rising in height. Above your head. As if reaching out to offer themselves up to the divine. May we all be these flames existing only for the divine, only in the divine. So we stop here for today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience and receptivity. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Monica.
Thank you, James. Bye.
Namaste to you all.